would be a potential problem.
Everybody's as old as they've ever been. Whoa.
John actually is an artist too, and sometimes he'll do like original.
Mike, quit playing with the dubstep knob.
Okay, potential problems broadcast. How are you guys?
You're listening to the Potential Problems.
They killed the giggler, man. They killed the giggler!
Oh my God,
Potential Problems Podcast.
Potential Problems Podcast. That is.
It's, you ain't gonna like it because the hood gonna love it.
Oh, yeah. Rolling Stones.
Yeah, man. Fucking JFK Jr.'s back.
Who's it really?
Keith Richards.
Who's
Keith
it
Richards is JFK Jr. He's bringing Donald Trump into the White House. This is what's gonna be going down.
But before we get to all that,
Yeah.
who is this?
Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar. So
This is one of the songs off of Grand Theft Auto 5.
Ah, is that coming out soon?
It's been out
Really?
for like 6 years. They did release the Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition, which is remastered Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas.
Really? So it's like all updated?
Updated textures and better, kind of smoother gameplay. However, it's not like a redone game. They just kind of gave more detail to the textures and shit, so in some areas it looks pretty funky.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen any of the memes that have come out.
No. Let's see here.
Okay.
I was watching an interview with, I was watching a movie, actually. I think I told you about it, called De Palma. And it was an interview, basically, a long interview with Brian De Palma, where he talks about all of his, you're thinking of some fucking joke.
No, it's just some of these pictures.
And one of the things he talked about was, one of the movies he talked about was Scarface. And he talked about how he wanted it to be like a mobster movie, but he didn't want it to be like The Godfather, all in dark shades and dark lighting. He wanted it to be like really pastel and bright, and that's how you get fucking Scarface, because it was Miami.
Yeah, it was a reflection of the bright pink flamingo everything that Miami was about.
Fingernails are difficult. So looks like this guy.
So these are just a couple things, but like, look at this fucking guy. What is up with his neck?
No, he's that one guy. Do you remember that one guy with the pyramid neck?
No, I don't.
The mugshot guy. You don't remember that dude?
I don't. Here's some other changes from. So like this one up here is the original. This one down below is what was updated and released for $60.
That's pretty hilarious. Okay, so it is a fake. This looks like WWE China and then drug-addled China.
Yeah, look how long the fucking arms are.
God rest her soul. God rest her soul.
Yeah, so there's just a lot of visual issues that are coming out of this remaster. This is one of the more popular ones, though. Is whatever the fuck character this is from San Andreas.
So what is that hair is just not that great?
I don't think that's hair, is it? Is that supposed to be a beanie?
Okay.
But they are keeping true to, the 7s and 9s that are on his on this guy's back.
Well, that's good.
Really long fingers. So people are saying the gameplay is fun enough. It's good as a remaster or whatever, but this is just some of the funnier stuff.
Does this happen every time, or is this just sometimes?
No, those are in like cutscenes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Really? Nobody thought to.
It's a me.
That looks like a reasonable facsimile.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't think I'll be getting this, but I figured, put on some Grand Theft Auto music to open up the show in the theme of the re-release and all the memes that it's birthing.
Do they have a lot of issues keeping those songs licensed?
No.
For newer versions?
No, it was already licensed for release anyway.
So is it like lifetime licensure?
Probably. Yeah. As far as distribution for that game, probably.
Yeah.
I'm sure maybe if they had to redo it, and like maybe that's one of the issues is the game looks kind of like shit, so they could say that it wasn't completely redone on a new engine, and then they'd have to buy the licenses for the music. Who knows?
What if they just did it because they know people are bitches and they're like, let's fuck with them, let's just troll them because everything's a troll these days,
End up
right?
with those cartoonish faces.
He's like, I know they're gonna troll us for anything about this game. Let's give them something to troll about.
Yeah, probably.
So I'll put some Arsenio Hall, Dikembe Mutombo fingers in there. A lot of news this week. Alan.
Last week you were out at AstroWorld causing a crowd surge.
Oh, that was great. 50,000. Was there 50,000 people there?
The intended capacity, from what I understood, was 50,000, and then double it is what showed up.
Really?
Forced their way through.
That's almost 24,000 people.
Wait, wait, what?
Yeah,
That's half.
exactly.
Okay, sure.
One thing I know is that when you're talking numbers, one thing I know is numbers. And when you're talking numbers like that, Alan, I believe you actually mean 100,000 people showed up. Did they all have tickets? Did they just rush in? What happened?
No. So I guess Travis Scott told people, you're not going to be able to get in, so get in. Find a way in, and they would crush down some fences.
Do you have any footage of maybe the waterworks that ensued at that
Travis Scott
concert? That, like, because there was something that made people dash towards this and caused this tragedy.
Oh.
And I wonder, because I've heard different reports. Do you know? Did you hear? Was it just Travis Scott, or was there a?
Well, it was a festival.
It was a music.
So I don't know if this was Travis Scott when this was going on.
No, totally Travis Scott. I think that's. What do he does the old Triple H thing. Yeah, he's
rocking
gonna
out.
rock. She just had asparagus the past 2 days.
Oh, dude. I don't know.
Asparagus and ramen. That's all she's been imbibing, Alan. Asparagus, ramen, and malt liquor.
Yeah.
That's what I would do if I was on tour.
Well, what happened here was this is from a concert last night in Daytona, Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Yeah. And
So close to
Florida,
Houston.
COVID never happened, so.
Yeah, so people are still peeing on each other's faces down there. Now, this is actually, let's see here, Brass Against.
Yeah, they're kind of a pop punk brass band that on their website it says they take influences from like Tool, Rage Against the Machine, and they kind of do cover songs but also write their own shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a heavy brass instrument influence, like band nerds.
And so last night, this was last night, right?
I think so, yeah.
Or what would be
A day or so. It was within the last 2 days.
November the 11th.
Yeah.
November the 12th, rather.
Yeah.
This young lady, she urinated on a man's face, which is pretty cool, if you ask me. We live in a world that can happen.
He was into it.
He was definitely into it. Big punk fan, obviously.
So here's kind of the setup. This is like earlier in the song, where I guess this is later on in the set. Mm-hmm. And she's just talking about how she's had a lot of water.
This is how we're gonna close the show. Get my man the can on his head ready. Because we're gonna bring him on stage and I'm gonna piss in this motherfucker's mouth.
So it's not like he volunteered. She just kind of sees this guy here with a can on his fucking head.
He didn't volunteer, but he didn't protest either.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe he like downed the beer, stuck it to his head with the suction, and was like, "Piss on me" or whatever the fuck. I don't know. But the band put out a tweet the next day saying that everyone had a good time, and Sophia or whatever her name is may have gotten a little out of hand.
Yeah. Well, what is the harm in this, really? I guess
it's not
public performance. I'd rather see this than Gigi Allen throws a log of crap at me.
Yeah. At least this is fun to watch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, Gigi Allen would be fun too, but for a different reason.
Sure.
But I think she's a spectacular woman. At what confidence to just urinate
Well,
on
look
a
at this
man's
fucker,
face?
this big dude in the background too with the tuba. You just look like learning tuba in school, having to go through all the marching band shit. People making fun of you, and you don't even know that, like, in a couple decades, like, your band leader is going to be pissing on some dude.
Tuba solo.
She shits in his tuba.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, so they do the show, the song, and I guess
She is very.
she's
awesome.
done with him. She's done with him after she pissed on him.
That's okay.
Get the fuck out of here.
She's awesome. I'm a fan.
Oh my god.
Did he just throw it at everybody else?
Did. Yeah, he's scooping it up off the oh my god. Maybe that's why she wanted him out of there. He's having a little too much of a boner.
He starts jerking off.
Look, he's got a
That'd be
VIP
awkward.
thing. He's a very important piss guy.
Oh yeah. Very into piss. She's on the guy with the very into piss jacket. He's like, no, it's just a very important person.
She thought
just
he was
not
a
familiar.
representative from VI Pissy. Oh, that's pretty fucked up, man. This is still during a pandemic, and she's just pissing on this fat dude.
Yeah. Oh, and then she kicks him. She's done.
Yeah, he's definitely overstayed his welcome.
She was not wearing any underwear?
She was. If you notice, she put him right back up as soon as
gotcha.
she was
Okay.
done.
Well, good for her.
Look at that. That's a walk of relief right there. She's empty, and she can go back to singing.
Now, why? I guess she was just pushing. That's why the stream was so uneven. You know?
Yeah. Well, she was singing when she did it too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good point.
I mean, look at this. I mean, listen.
I think I've been shot.
So it's not like she's taking a break from the vocals while she's doing it. So it's like you can almost see as she's pushing out the fucking words, it gets stronger. That's horrifying.
Well, and any truth to the fact that they're sponsored by Depends and Country Time Lemonade?
I think that might be something that's
safe
coming out of
assumption.
all this. They're supposed to be touring with Tool in Europe in the spring.
Really?
Yeah. So Tool's probably going to want to have, some chamois on hand.
Yeah. Just to make sure everything gets cleaned up.
Yeah. Here, let's focus on the tweet now. What's the apology tweet? Oh, it's not even in here. Following statement. What does that say?
Update. Brass Against have issued the following statement regarding the incident. We had a great time last night, man. At Welcome to Rockville, dude. Sophia got carried away, man. It's not something the rest of us expected. It's not something you'll see again, dude, at our shows. Thanks for bringing it last night, Daytona. Rock on. Verbatim, Alan. Verbatim.
Verbatim.
So that's a good statement. It's effective.
Yeah.
Do you think? I think they're gonna be an overnight sensation. That's for sure.
Who gives a fuck? I think this is a great PR move. PR.
That's the prosecutor from the Rittenhouse trial. I think, dude, what a fucking nuts story that is. The whole trial and everything, and people are like, there's another polarizing symbol for America is some little fucking bitch dude.
Oh, yeah. That whole thing is so frustrating
And then
and stupid.
All the crying memes that are coming out with that.
Dude.
It's
You had Nerf guns growing up. Could you explain that with Nerf guns? Yeah, my uncle bought them for me. What do you want? He had to give me something for me to open up.
And it's just that's another interesting thing going on. There's a few legal things at this time.
The legal thing, like Shatner's passenger of that.
Oh
thing
yeah,
dying.
yeah. Actually,
So is this
legal
like some
stuff to
Final Destination shit?
real stuff? Yeah. So the guy who was actually, I guess he was an investor in that company, like one of the investors, pretty rich guy, Vandy Freeze or something like that.
Antifreeze.
Yeah, okay. Let's see here. So Glenn DeVries and Thomas Fisher died in a single-engine Cessna that went down Thursday in northern New Jersey. Now, Glenn DeVries is a wealthy tech mogul who traveled into space, not just with any schmo, with fucking William Shatner, the captain of the Starship Enterprise. And if you saw Alan's wonderful meme, which got a lot of traction, Alan, do you have that meme somewhere?
Yeah, actually.
We could pull that up.
Yeah.
Not to disrespect Glenn DeVries, God rest his soul, but more to give you some context on how William Shatner felt about his experience in space. So anyway, after he goes into space with Bill Shatner, you got it ready? There we go. So this was how Bill Shatner felt about his space journey.
And capsule touchdown.
Did he get the job?
There he comes out.
Wait, was that not the clip you wanted?
I thought
these were all formatted for TikTok, so like that was.
I thought we were gonna see yours.
That is mine.
Like, well, what about the longer one?
Oh, you want the full length one? That's
well,
what you
maybe
want.
part of it.
Okay, sure.
I feel that's a.
That's of course now an experienced space traveler himself.
Oh wait.
I invited him 3 times to Monday Night Football at my house, and he's been busy or he's turned me down. This kid's got to go back to preschool. He's a child.
Now, this is Bill Shatner talking about himself in a very unflattering...
Talking about Jeff Bezos. That was Jeff Bezos there waving at him. And so I'm looking for the whole... there's like 20 different versions of this.
Well, that's an insult. Why would he do that? It's an insult. Hello, I'm William Shatner, and for some reason, unknown to me...
Captain.
So it's this guy who's dead? No, that's Bezos.
That's Bezos.
Is it this guy that's dead?
See, they have a picture of it in the story, in the news story. They have a picture of him with Bill Shatner. If you scroll down, there you go.
Right.
And Bill Shatner has that, dude, for that entire journey, he was just like, did someone slip him LSD before he went into space? Because that's kind of what it seems like.
A little bit. I mean, he's a 91-year-old flying in space.
Oh, Jesus. I don't talk like that. As you can tell, I don't talk like that. This is the way I talk. I talk like this.
He does talk like this.
So this guy's dead.
Yeah, and so he goes from... What did they go up in? Was it like a
It was
capsule?
a rocket. Yeah, it was a little crew capsule on a small rocket.
Was it the penis and balls rocket that everybody loves?
It was the dick rocket is what it is.
Can we get a picture of that?
Sure.
The dick rocket? So is it like the old rockets
There you go,
where
right
they would send it they would send it into space?
It's just
and
a
then
one
it
stage.
detaches?
Yeah, it's a I
the
guess
capsule.
Well, yeah, I guess it's a one-stage rocket. It's just got the main, rocket and fuel tank, and then once it blasts all its fuel off, it detaches the capsule, and the capsule
thruster,
goes forward a little bit.
The thruster.
Yeah.
And then they were the thrusties because they were thrust.
They were the payload.
They were delivered to space, and then the thruster just kind of collapsed back to the ground, right?
Well, it didn't collapse. It landed.
Oh, it fell to the ground.
Bloated fucking face in space.
Does it have a parachute on it when it lands? Not the capsule, but the rocket.
No, it lands like the SpaceX ones do. It lands on its feet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It just comes down as all, or does
Straight
it come
down?
Really?
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So it sends them up in this capsule. Now, is the capsule coated for easy digestion? I hope so.
It's a liquid gel capsule.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
A liquid gel capsule.
Yeah.
So they go up into space. How long were they in space for?
3-4 minutes.
Okay, so a long time.
The whole thing was like 11 minutes.
You know that by them going into space 3 to 4 minutes, that means he's probably 100 years younger than both of us. That's how time delineation works.
Oh man.
Far out, right?
Yeah.
So he's gonna live 100 more years. How do you feel about that?
That's just. As long as he sticks to, Jeff Bezos's rockets, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, okay.
I think whatever the pilot of the guy who died
Glenn
in the plane
DeVries
probably had a little bit, he wanted to chase that high again.
Well, he's just
as someone who looked into pilot classes.
Dude, he's a rich guy.
That's dangerous.
Who's flying around.
Yeah.
If I was rich, I don't know. Well, I guess you'd just be like, fuck it, I fly all the time. But wouldn't you be like super careful? I mean, you could die driving.
I know someone that died.
Flying?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he was my neighbor down the street when I was growing up. He had a couple kids. He had a couple bee colonies in his backyard.
Oh, Muhammad Atta. Huh?
Yeah. And he died somewhere over I think it was El Dorado National Forest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the plane just went down. I think it was a single engine, maybe 2 engine.
Those
are the most common ones for people that get into it. So.
When you always wonder, because it's even with experienced pilots, it seems like you'd be like, no, just glide in. But
you can only glide so far without fuel. That's the issue.
And then
there's a lot of remote areas.
Drop like
it's not a helicopter.
Ran out of fuel.
Yeah, yeah.
Like with the whole Kobe thing, like fuck, dude. Another rich guy, one of my basketball heroes, also one of my concierge heroes too. But
also rest in peace to Robert Eister.
What happened?
For making Kobe jokes.
Yeah.
The day of.
Yeah.
Legend.
Ari Shafir Eister, huh? Yeah. Just being rich, I would be super careful. There was another
Get someone to fly
millionaire.
for you. Why do you got to be the one to fly it?
Yeah. Well, John Denver too. And then what about those injuries? So you come in 200 miles an hour, and those planes are pretty lightweight, so you just slam into the ground.
Well, with the smaller ones, it's like 150 miles an hour for takeoff.
Mm-hmm.
So landing is pretty close to that too.
Okay.
But yeah, the fact that it's just a small aircraft, there's not a lot of areas for like shock absorption versus like bigger aircraft.
Yeah, and even
a lot of that energy just transfers in quicker. Things break.
Have you ever seen this show called Air Disasters?
No, but I do follow some pilots on YouTube who talk about air disasters.
Really?
Like, yeah, they'll break it down from like a professional standpoint, what went wrong, what, some armchair piloting.
Yeah.
It's that kind of shit.
How many of those problems start out in the cockpit? And how many start out in the ball pit?
At least half and half, man.
Yeah, that's what I hear. So from one video that you made to another video that you made, you dug up the 94 Rock contest?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? What is that exactly?
So this was a contest called Live Inside, Win the Ride that took place in 2001.
And what was the objective?
4 contestants live in a car in Winrock Mall for 21 days.
Oh, wow. Back when Winrock Mall had places you could pillage, right?
Mm-hmm. This is just before Observe and Report came in and did the last little bit of stuff they could do.
Oh, wow. Do you remember when that mall had fountains? It had like a little pond fountain wishing thing?
Yeah.
Way back in the day.
I wish that mall would have stuck around.
I guess you didn't get your wish granted.
I didn't.
Probably because you just told me about it.
Yeah, it didn't come true because it knew. So this is direct from a VHS rip.
Wow, 2001. So what did you find? You found a VCR where you could...
I had to buy a VCR.
And how does that work? You hook it up to your computer and you can transfer?
Yeah, I bought a USB device.
Nice. A dongle? Did you get a dongle?
No, I didn't. No.
Have you ever accidentally got a dongle in your mouth?
No, a dongleberry.
Dongleberry.
You're eating fucking Tim Cook's ass and you get a dongleberry.
I hope not. So
it's a USB device that has some output cables that you can plug a VCR into.
Yeah.
So the VCR will feed into the USB, and then you use our broadcasting software that we use for the podcast to capture it.
Okay.
So it's just digitizes it. So this was some of the auditions. See, this is what I was talking about. I need to work on the clip because I can't hear shit at all.
Meet Daniel, alias Triple X,
like, right, you
from
can't hear
Corpus
shit.
Christi. Daniel, what makes you think people will like you?
You don't like me? I don't. I don't like you either.
Why can't you hear anything on it?
Well, it's the way I captured it. I was saying earlier I need to recapture it because the audio came in mono, and when it comes in mono, it's very
only
quiet.
on
and
one. That's what you were telling me. So it's basically these people lived inside the mall. Now, do we have the whole thing of this?
Yeah, this is the whole 20-minute video.
So,
and half of it is these fucking stupid tires going, this is a live inside, win the ride update.
I noticed that. Okay. Like every
Look at this fucking tire. Live inside, win the ride update.
Well, back in 2001, that probably cost a lot. They're like, we got to get our money worth on these graphics.
WB19 wasn't putting in money for nothing.
How's our efforts on reaching out to Rain Man? Is that stalled?
I've given up. Mm-hmm. I've given up, man.
We've had a couple of false starts on that. We did make the effort, man.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. We did make the effort, I said.
Oh, yeah, we did.
So, do we find out who wins this in this little...
Yeah, it wasn't my mom that won.
Oh, was she a part of that?
Yeah, she was... Yeah, my mom was one of the contestants. And in this part of it, she eats a bunch of worms to sleep on a couch for the night.
So you were 7 at this time?
Yeah. No, 8 or 9. I was 9. So this was, played a... Dude, Fear Factor was in its heyday.
Fear Factory.
Hoorah! Get ready to wiggle.
Yeah, so the lady who ate 0 actually won the car in the end.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Oh, that was just a part of the challenge.
Yeah, this was just to sleep on the couch for the night, so you didn't have to sleep in the car. And there's my mom eating 8 fucking worms so she could sleep on a couch to win a car. It's funny, they just kept painting her like a psychopath in this thing, too.
Really?
Yeah, like everyone at the beginning had their little intros. They're like, this lady, I'm a sniper. Oh, you're a sniper? And this guy, oh, yeah, I do this. Other lady, I do that. And they're like, this is Wanda, and she's insane. And that was it.
This is Wanda. She believes Trump will be president one day.
You mean again? Yeah. So, yeah, that's I've been reliving some shit. I saw my baptism. Really? I was baptized Catholic, apparently.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that fucked up?
Yes.
I got godparents.
So was the guy at the Brass Against concert.
He was anointed in piss.
Let me baptize you.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Glenn DeVries. You went to space with Shatner. I mean, shit, that's a pretty cool gig thing. Bummer about your passing. But hey, I think that's good, right? We got everything covered. I think we should definitely dive deeper into the 94 Rock contest once you get that remastered.
I'll take out most of the intro parts so it's not so repetitive.
It's going to be like Grand Theft Auto remastered.
That's right. You can't wait to see the faces that are going to get updated. Through an AI like Snapchat filter.
Well, I guess let's see here. What do you got going on this week, Alan? Anything to plug, Ola?
No.
All right.
Just got that interview coming up with our guest.
Okay, I will be at. Oh yes, that is right. That is Katie McClaren, this week's guest. I almost forgot to do the intro, Alan. This week's guest, Katie McClaren. She's new to stand-up comedy. I saw her perform at I heard about her performing at Red Velvet along with Big Benny, a couple other great comedians that night. And so I reached out to her. She's fairly new to comedy.
You mean Revel?
Revel. What did I say?
Red Velvet.
Rest in peace. God rest his soul. By the way, when one of our guests said, accused another guest of being a deadbeat.
Wait, when did that happen?
Remember that?
No.
We were interviewing a gentleman who may or may not own a significant amount of properties in Albuquerque.
Right.
And this gentleman made allegations that this person may or may not be a deadbeat.
May not have some debts to pay.
Anyway, sorry, just thought about that.
Yeah.
But back to Katie McClaren, this week's guest. She's a really interesting person. Turns out she hasn't just started dabbling in comedy, but she's also does a chess club, runs a chess club, and she's a pretty successful real estate agent, which is pretty cool. She was very interesting to talk to. Let's get to that interview, Alan.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going today? This is John here with Potential Problems Podcast. That is...
I'm Alan Clark for part 2. Hey, welcome back. I have a co-host for this episode.
Part 2, huh? Okay, sounds great to me. I don't know what's going on there, but I'm intrigued.
That's in reference to last week's episode.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Went solo. Anyway, hello.
I gotcha. We're joined by this week's guest, Katie McClaren. Is that the way you say it?
Yes, McLaren like the car.
Is that a car? I don't know. I'm not a car guy.
Oh, yeah, you don't know about the McLaren P1s or anything cool then. Okay.
No, I had a couple P2s, but I had to get rid of them,
Alrighty then.
I like that P3 protein snack.
Yeah.
Nice.
Tell us a little bit about the McLaren, if you would.
Oh, I mean, the McLaren car is like, they're not really street legal. It's like a racing car, super high-end, fancy schmancy car, so they're always fun to look at, but I couldn't own one. Yeah.
Would you drive one if someone was like, here, you could drive this for a day?
Hell yeah. I'd have to take it on a track, though, to do what I want, so.
Oh, okay. Are you like someone who likes to drive fast? Is that like your thing, or?
Only on a track. My racing days are behind me.
Oh, okay.
What's the fastest you've gone on like an interstate?
I think the fastest I've gone is like 125.
That's scary going that fast. My sister
I wasn't a big fan.
Did that
too. That's like, okay, life and limb every second.
Yeah, for all of 10 seconds it was a blast and I was done with it.
Yeah, that's fair.
So you're from, where are you from?
I'm from San Antonio, Texas.
Okay. And how long have you been in New Mexico?
7 or 8 years now, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you, when you moved here, did you know you were moving here, or did you get stuck like the rest of us, either through birth or, just a car accident?
I guess I knew I was moving here, because like I moved here when I was 18 to New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
I had graduated high school when I was 17. I went to the University of Texas at Austin briefly, because that was just so expensive. Austin and everything was mad expensive. I was working like 3 jobs, just trying to make ends meet, and that just wasn't sustainable. My parents had moved from San Antonio to Albuquerque, so I moved back in with them and started going to UNM.
Okay. And what was like the biggest difference between Texas and New Mexico, I guess?
Snow, my dude, snow.
Yeah.
I didn't see snow until I was 18 when I moved here. I love the snow. And seasons, oof. That was nice.
You get more of that here in New Mexico, right?
Oh yeah.
So you're currently living in Las Vegas. Is that where you're at? New Mexico?
Yes, sir. Beautiful Las Vegas, New Mexico.
And I think that's a couple hours away from Albuquerque last time I checked, unless it's moved. Okay.
Yeah. No, it hasn't. I mean.
Okay, that's good to know, because that would be kind of weird. So we were talking a little bit about what you do out there in Las Vegas, and one of the things that I thought was really fascinating right off the bat was that you run a chess club, right?
Yeah. A good friend of mine, active member in the community by the name of Aaron Gallegos, used to run the chess club, but he recently, I think back in like September, moved out to Mora, and so I took over for him, and that's been a good time.
Well, you have the pronunciation on that very good. It's like Mora. You said it right. You've been living in New Mexico long enough to know how to have that down.
Yeah. Mora, Sapeo, Villanueva. Gotta know what's up.
Oh, you do better than Alan. Alan's trying to say those words.
Tortilla.
Yeah. Oh crap.
So that happens. That's like a once a week thing, right?
Yeah, I try to make it like once a week. I need to try, especially now that the winter is coming. I need to try getting into the Santa Fe scene a little bit too, but that'll be a fun adventure here coming up. Okay.
And do you have I'm guessing like for a chess club, you have pretty regular people that you see pretty much every week, and they're also big fans of chess, right?
Yeah, and most of them are much better than me. We had a much bigger chess club before the pandemic. Then obviously the pandemic kind of messed things up, and the place that we did chess closed for a while, so that really threw a wrench in things. But now we're back every Saturday, 10 a.m. to noon at Travelers Cafe in Las Vegas.
And did you used to do stream any of that, or?
Oh no, we've never streamed any of that. That'd be cool though. Yeah, right now it's just casual, good times.
That's awesome. The people. So it's what kind of establishment? Is it like a cafe?
Yeah, it's just a, coffee, really good coffee kind of place. We tried doing it at another restaurant in town, but the coffee wasn't up to par. So we're back at Travelers, luckily, because now they're open again after the pandemic.
Alan recently brought me some coffee from Puerto Rico. I'm sure
Nice.
very small children had to harvest, but it's delicious. I'm a big coffee fan. You're a coffee fan?
I'm more of a tea and cider person. I try not to mess with too much caffeine, actually.
Okay. Is there a
Yeah.
reason for that? You just don't like being...
You
don't like tweaking, man? Come on.
Yeah,
Everybody's
I don't like
tweaking.
being on my nice chill drive and feeling like when I have a freaking heart attack, it's like, I'll drink coffee if I want to. Like if I got to take a dump, that's my go-to. So.
Yeah, sometimes you're right. That's a good way to get it done. Or do you ever do cold brew?
I don't think I have actually.
Pretty good.
It's very intense.
Is that just like high level espresso?
Alan?
Yeah, it's just way stronger
Okay.
because they just kind of let it sit in a fridge overnight and then just filter it out. They don't actually brew it, so that over time it just picks up a lot more of the caffeine.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's intense.
That's the fast bean juice.
Yeah.
He knows way more about it than I do. That's why I was like, I'll let Alan take this one.
I was
Defer
wondering,
to
does
the
anybody,
professional, yeah.
Does anybody in the chess club have like any revolutionary ideas of like the way the game of chess is gonna evolve? Because Star Trek brought it into 3D chess.
Oh, the
but,
3D
what's the
chess.
next big thing?
Oh yeah, so there's like a laser chess game that you can play,
shit.
and it's
Wow.
like with mirrors and stuff. I've only like played with that a couple of times, but no, I mean everybody's just playing nice, fun, casual games, trying to up their game so that when we do play online, we don't get spanked around, which happens all too often.
There used to be this chess game. I don't know if it's still around. I think it was a big thing back in the 2000s. And when I was...
That's ancient history.
Yeah. I think everybody got old in the 2010s and forward. Because it seems like, Alan, you got to be like, what, 27? And
I mean, sure.
And I got to be like 43. And like all the famous people I know, they got to be pretty old too. I forgot where I
still
was.
think 1990 was like 20 years ago sometimes, and it's like, wait a second, that's not
Seems
quite
like it
accurate
was,
anymore.
right?
Yeah.
But there's battle chess. That's what it was called. And
Oh,
it was,
okay.
Did you ever play that or hear of that? It's
I've heard of that, but I haven't played it.
It's basically, it was online chess, or it's chess against computer.
With explosions?
Yeah.
But they're like, when you would go take like, for example, if a pawn takes a bishop.
Whoa.
I know.
Dropping knowledge.
I know.
Here.
Hey, if a pawn takes a bishop, before. No. If a pawn takes a bishop, it would show like the pawn run up and stab the bishop in the back or
nice.
something.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
so it was
Harry Potter chess.
Yeah, I was like,
There we go,
you
yeah.
go. I guess, well, that's your generation's
Yeah,
translation.
dude,
for it, right?
I was pissed when that movie came out because the soundtrack also came out, and one of the songs was like the chess battle, and I was like, oh, cool, this is good. I got the CD, I went home, listened to it. It was just the instrumentals. I was so pissed.
You
I
thought it
there
was
going to
gonna be the
dialogue. And, yeah, I was like, come on, I want to listen to some chess.
I mean, you could make like a really cool remix of that if you put some energy into it.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Were you a big Harry Potter fan?
I didn't ever really get too into Harry Potter. A lot of people might come at me for that, actually. I was always a lot more Lord of the Rings myself. The Harry Potter books, I mean, it was just always like really, it was obviously written for kids. Like I didn't find myself Googling or looking in the dictionary for any of the words that she was really using. She didn't have like a big vocabulary, so it didn't really capture my attention.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a super cool story, like, wizards and magic and stuff. I'm there. But I don't know.
It's not
it wasn't
cool.
my thing.
It's not cool anymore because she's been canceled because she said the wrong thing. So
yeah, she has been trifling around.
That's right. That's right. I didn't read her books until after what she said. I was like, oh, I got to find out more. But then it was just about magic.
Yeah. Oh no.
It's like, oh, it's not even in here.
You're hoping to find some cool subtext.
Yeah. So you've done, in addition to chess, you've also recently started, more recently started getting into comedy, right?
Yeah, that's been a ton of fun. I did my first open mic back in July of this year.
Okay, and where was that at?
At Revel, yeah. So I have been doing background film work, like background stand-in stuff for the last 5 years.
All right.
And earlier this year, I met Cody Dove.
Oh,
on a,
yes,
yeah.
Cody Dove. He's co-hosted
Yeah.
this show.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
He'll never admit to it, but he did. You know, whatever he says, we have footage of it. So.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met him on a film set, and obviously super cool, super nice guy. We added each other on Facebook, and he had posted about a performance at Revel that he ultimately didn't get to do. But my good friend Tyler Ditchery and I went ahead and checked that out and had a ton of fun. So we just started going every week to Revel, and after the third week, Jamar's like, "Hey, we've got open mic next week." And I was like, damn, I was super nervous. You know, I'd never really done any kind of stage stuff. Yeah. But my friend Tyler, she's like, "All right, homie, if you do it, I'll do it." And that's all I needed to hear. So I just got ready for my set the next week. I wrote it down, and I had actually had that set in my head since I was like 10 years old. When I was a youngin', I told myself,
Oh, really?
if I ever did stand-up comedy, I'd have to talk about what I'd do with a dick for a day. And so so yeah, thus began the journey.
Do you do what I do? Slam it in doors, yell at it, pinch it, get it with rubber bands, get staples
the
into
damage
it.
from peyronie's.
Whoa, what is a peyronie? Jeez.
Well, I was explaining to Alan, I got my medical card, and whenever someone asks me why I got it, I'm like, peyronie's. And that's because it's like this condition that affects older men, which some could argue I am older, but the Earth is 5 billion years old, so whatever. But peyronie's is where I guess your penis starts to curve. I don't know if
like
it's
scar tissue buildup.
Yeah, scar
beating
tissue.
your mate too hard and slamming it indoors.
That's not what.
That's exactly what it is.
I think that is a contributing factor.
Are you thinking? Okay,
Yeah,
so you guys
it doesn't
are both-
happen to people who are abstinent. So maybe you should.
That's the
you should
answer,
work
right?
on yourself.
So it doesn't not happen to many.
Yeah, it's a common thing because I see commercials for it all the time.
Is that what dictates what's common and what isn't? Okay.
Exactly. And I guess it's where your dick starts to curve to the point where it can see around corners. So that's
I mean, if your lady's into that, you're set, you know?
Yeah, I've seen some curved ones in porno, and I'm like, that's
Who hasn't?
interesting.
Yeah.
I know, right? I feel it's more acceptable to admit looking at dicks in porn these days.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably
Thank goodness,
act like you
right?
didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not at job interviews because I've done that a couple times. like, no, we
What
don't.
are your hobbies? Well, you know, I've recently admitted to looking at dicks in porn. Like, that's valuable.
Just blurt it out at the front of the interview, just right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and while that's happening, you're like, by the way, you look pretty familiar.
I'll try that the next time for sure.
There you go.
So when you wrote down your set that you had kind of had in your head, and this is an interesting thing because I've heard many people who've done comedy from, superstar 1% comics who tour all the way down to people who are just starting out comedy, is that in many instances they've had this set or, a couple of jokes in their head that have just kind of floated around in there for years. And then kind of everything culminates to give you this opportunity to focus putting that together. Is that kind of what happened with your first set there?
I mean, yeah, it was nice to I hadn't done any creative writing in a while, so it was cool to just be like, all right, let's sit down, commit some time to it, and actually put some real thought into it and write it down. And yeah, so I mean, that was pretty cash money.
And you talk real good, so I assume that you've gone to college.
Somewhat. I didn't finish though, so that's a bit of a bummer. But whatever. I sell real estate now, and I love that. So it's nice not to have debt.
That is a fascinating profession. How long do you feel it took you to get really good at that from the time you started to when you got really good at it? I guess.
Definitely the first 6 months are the hardest.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think after the first 2 years was when I really had some good confidence in it. I had actually, before I sold real estate, I sold cars. And so I had some sales experience, and that was, interesting in Albuquerque of all places. But definitely, yeah, after the 2 years mark. And I'm still learning every day. Don't get me wrong. I'm never going to stop learning in that profession because, geez, it's just, especially in Las Vegas, New Mexico, where I practice, It's very unique. All the houses are completely different. And most of what I do is mountain property. So basically, hiking for a living. I love it.
Are there any squatters' properties out there? That's kind of what I'm looking for right now. If you have a place that's prime for squatting, that's the place I'm looking for. Anything on the market there in the squatters area?
On the market in the squatters area, I don't know about that, but
I'm looking for a place with a lot of copper piping.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Copper wiring, I'm sorry.
I'm sure you'll get along
there
for
you
that
go.
real easy.
Yeah, so that sounds like there's a lot to it. I've watched a few pornos on real estate, and there's and I feel that no, actually, in all seriousness, whenever I've heard people talk about that profession, it seems like there's a shit ton of learning and testing that goes into getting your license. So all jokes aside, that's something that you probably had to work really hard for. How long did it take you to get your license?
Well, I was actually really lucky in that I had a mentor bring me into the real estate market. So while I was at UNM, I had started dating a guy who was from Las Vegas, New Mexico, and his mom owned a brokerage in Las Vegas. When I met them, she had breast cancer and her youngest son had leukemia. And so
feel good story, huh? Okay.
Total feel good story. Yeah, but she
Sorry.
needed help was the bottom line. And so she actually paid for me to get my real estate license and help me move to Las Vegas so that I could move here, start selling real estate for her and help the family. And but they're both in remission now, so chill out.
That's awesome. It is a feel good story. That is cool.
Yeah. And they're both in remission, and I broke up with her eldest son years ago, but I just loved Las Vegas and I loved that job so much that I'm still here and I'm still doing it, and I plan to be doing it for a lot longer.
That's cool. Are you on good terms with them still, or?
Oh yeah, I still work with her at that brokerage. By and far, she has been my mentor in real estate and in lots of things, but definitely, especially in real estate. She's been incredibly helpful, and I owe my career to that woman essentially.
Well, that's a great story because it's about you helping people, them helping you out, and that's kind of what life is supposed to be, you know?
Totally. Always give and take, you know?
For sure. So when you wrote that set down and you went out there to do your first stand-up set, did you think, were you nervous? I still get pretty nervous, but like a few minutes right before I go up.
Yeah, I was super nervous. I was so nervous, but because I'd never really done anything on stage. So the thing that I didn't realize though is that when you get up on stage, the lights are all in your face, so you can't see anybody, and you're like, oh, okay. And time moves different up there, but as long as you had practiced what you were gonna do, it was like if I can't see anybody, it's just like I was in my room running the lines again, so it was fine.
And you mentioned that you did some background work. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I still do that. I did some earlier this month, actually. It's a fun time, and right now is the time to be doing it. Also, Albuquerque is essentially the new Hollywood. If anybody watching this has ever thought about doing background or stand-in or anything like that, just give it a try. It's so fun, and it's great. I just bring a time, period appropriate book for whatever shoot we're doing that day. And then I just sit there and I get to crush through a book for 8 hours of the day or however long we're on there. And they just feed you soft cheeses and feed you like a king. And it's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's dope. The food, I'm very
catering,
food
right?
Yeah. So they got me there.
For sure. And then it's really cool when the stars come out and they'll be eating the same stuff you eat.
They'll grace you with their presence.
Yeah, and then their bodyguards will be like, "Hey, get away from them! And quit trying to hug them and stuff." Other than that,
I've never noticed bodyguards. Oh. That's a good point. The whole set has security, and then some actors have more rules than others.
Oh yeah, that is always kind of fascinating.
Yeah. But all the people that I've worked with have been super chill. I got to work with Bob Odenkirk on Better Call Saul. I got to work with Josh Brolin, Sugarland Beard.
Oh, cool.
I was a stand-in for her, and she was super sweet. Josh Brolin spent some time in Las Vegas earlier this year for some shoots.
Really?
Because there's a lot of filming that happens in Las Vegas, which is another reason I got into it. Longmire, I've been in also.
Very cool.
Yeah, and it all
you
just
look
happens
like
in Las
you could
Vegas.
be in Longmire. You're kind of yeah, okay, I could envision her on Longmire.
I'm from Texas. I guess I've got the look.
Yeah, I would have to be a criminal, you know, on Longmire.
Or the kitchen.
Unfortunately,
or the kitchen. That's okay too, as long as I'm on film. It's all right.
There you go. That's all that matters.
So, how many times have you done stand-up since that first time?
Four total.
Okay.
Yeah.
All at Revel or other places?
Yeah, all at Revel actually.
Okay.
Three
That's
of those
cool.
were open mics, and then Jamar was nice enough to have me on as a featured performer one time, so that was super cool.
And actually, that's where I heard about you because I follow Big Benny, who's set to be
cool.
a guest sometime in November here. And I noticed that you were on the show. I hadn't really heard of you. And so I reached out and I was just curious, you know, about your comedy. And once we started talking, there was a ton of interesting things about you and your life.
Thank you.
So yeah, it was definitely great that you agreed to be on and you had the time for us.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. And then Benny, by the way, that night killed it. He was up on stage for like an hour. So I was like,
That's
damn.
what I heard.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. Would you ever want to do stand up for an hour? Is that something that you would aspire to at some point?
That would be a ton of fun. That'd be
Yeah.
a lot of fun. I'd have to come up with an hour's worth of material.
Oh yeah, or you do what all
That's
the
the
other
challenge.
do what all the other comics do, and when you get asked, do you have an hour of material? Even if you don't, just say yes, and then you're forced to come up with half an hour of material.
Take a note there. You know, you're right. You're right.
Another half hour of crowd work. So
crowd work. Dude, you know what would be so terrifying about doing a fucking hour? It's like halfway through, you're like, you got to be thinking, how are you guys just not sick of me up here by now? like I wouldn't.
You can always tell when somebody forgot their set on stage because then they just turn straight to crowd work. If somebody's like doing too much crowd work, I'm like, you forgot, you know?
What else? They kick the ground.
What else looks at phone?
Yeah.
My new thing that I love hearing, but now if I were to run an open mic, anytime someone asked how much time do I have, I'd be like, you're done. Great job. But I wouldn't be negative. I'd be like, you're done. Great job, buddy.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there you go. You don't have to search for anything. That's okay. You're
if
doing
you forgot, you forgot, you know, so
yeah.
at that point.
What I do when I'm when I'm booked for an hour is I do half an hour of my material and then I just start back at the beginning and do the same half hour. And then I feel that the jokes really make an impact the second time.
Oh, yeah. You're like, I'm doing the most epic callback right now.
The whole set was a callback. I like the way you think.
Yep.
So do you have anything coming up in your schedule where people could go out to see you? Do you plan on doing any open mics anytime soon? I know for you, because you live a couple hours away, there's a little bit more planning that goes into it.
Yeah, the weather anytime could just be like, no.
Yeah.
But because you do not want to trifle with the Glorietta Pass in any kind of bad weather. But I'm planning on maybe going to an open mic on Monday in Albuquerque that I haven't checked out before. I haven't been to Inside Out, so
okay.
I need to check that out. And then also I think there's one in Santa Fe on Wednesday.
Yes, I believe it's the Chili Line Brewery or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, I might as well put my foot in the door there and check it out. But then I'm going to be going to Seattle for Thanksgiving, for like a week around Thanksgiving.
That's cool, man.
So I'm going to see if I can find an open mic there. That'd be pretty fun.
Very cool. That would be an amazing experience, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Do you already have your next set written out, or are you going to do the same one that you did before? Which is totally fine. I mean, there's a reason why they call it a routine, is because you want to get it down and then it makes more of an impact.
I think I might be going with my current set. It's been kind of fun because it's like a malleable one. You know, I can take some things off, add some things to it. Jerry Seinfeld says that you should run with like one set and really hone that down while you're just like getting over stage fright, you know? But so I think, and I've already added and taken a lot of stuff off of that set and changed it up a bit, and it's been fun to like watch it change and be kind of fluid. So.
And you seem pretty comfortable podcasting, and I notice you have some like a nice headset there. Do you do other things online as far as other web things and meetings of such professional things where you have to wear, like
No.
business?
Well, I mean, I do Zoom meetings for like the board of realtors and stuff, but mostly I just like game online. I haven't done any streaming for that though. I guess maybe I should.
Yeah, I think there would be an audience. I mean, it seems like if you're engaging and you're able to be pretty interesting for viewers, it seems like you can find a niche usually.
Yeah, I couldn't. I'm a man, though.
You're a man. You're a white man. Nobody likes you, Alan.
Exactly, yeah.
There is definitely something to be said for being like a semi-attractive little white girl in this world. So
yes. Oh,
there's
come
that.
on. You're being modest. But yeah, that's one of those things where if it's something that you become comfortable with and you can make money at, it seems like a great way to make money at.
The money. You're right.
In fact, I bet you your pets in the background could
they're
probably
stirring.
have an effective Twitch following. Can you tell us before we go a little bit about your pets?
Oh yeah, so you probably can't tell. They look like one dog right now, but I've got a black French bulldog named Momo, and then I've got an Akita named Tenzin, and then I've got a little cat back there named Bug, and I've got another cat over there that you can't see named Lizzie. But
that's cool. So definitely an animal person.
Oh yeah, I grew up raising horses actually.
Oh cool. Do you miss horses? Do you still see
do.
horses from time to time?
I don't really get to see them too much at all actually anymore, except when I'm like out at rural listings. But yeah, I think the last time I rode a horse was I took myself as a treat back in February of 2020. I went to Iceland, did my first international travel, and I rode some Icelandic horses. Yeah, but that's the last time I rode. And I got back like a week before everything hit the fan.
Shut
it was
down.
Great. Mm-hmm.
What was Iceland like?
Awesome. It was awesome. I went during the winter, so like a bunch of my tours and stuff got canceled, but it was super chill. I just had like a little magnetic chess set with me, so I just like played chess with people on the airplane and all like the bars and stuff, and I stayed at a hostel, so that was cool, and I just like played with a bunch of people there, walked around, went to hot springs, and just some good old-fashioned dicking around. It was great.
That's very cool. Did you get some amazing pictures?
I got some pictures. I tried not to focus on the pictures so much, actually. I had a couple of rules for myself too while I was there. I was like, no makeup and no bra the whole time. Hell yeah, brother.
That is cool. I don't know if I could follow that, but I definitely
I know your push-up is probably pretty necessary these days.
When you mention it, it's getting uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Thanks again so much for hanging out with us. We definitely want to have you on again. Is there anything else that you want people to check out before we sign off?
I guess not. I mean, if anybody's ever in Las Vegas, New Mexico on a Saturday morning, wants to play some chess, come and see us at Travelers Cafe, 10 a.m. to noon.
Do you have a website for that, or is it kind of just like...
We just have a Facebook page.
Oh, Facebook page. There you go. That's kind of like a website.
Yeah. Show enough. You're right.
Well, thanks again, Katie. You're an amazing person. I really appreciate you hanging out with us, and hopefully we'll be able to chat again in the near future.
Cool. Well, thanks for having me. You guys have a good night, okay?
Hey, thanks. You too.
Thanks. Bye.
We'll see everyone else next week.
See ya.
See ya.